agency is near, and the Kings aren't playing around. They're making news left and right. It started yesterday with the news that they reached a new deal with Harrison Barnes, and this morning, I'm on a walk. I'm sipping a little coffee, and then Shams drops the Kings are close to acquiring Chris Duarte from the Indiana Pacers for what? At this point, it seems like some sort of draft compensation. We don't know the full details. The Kings can just put Duarte into their cap space. He makes $3.9 million next year. He's on his rookie deal. Morgan, your first reaction to the Kings potentially adding Chris Duarte?
Another one of those players, low risk, high reward, Monty type player, hard worker, good guy. And I'm excited to see what he can do with Mike Brown and this system, because I think if you look back at his first two seasons, not only going like, well, he's an older rookie, he's going to be 27 years old, but also health. Health has been an issue for him. So where is he going to go from here? Maybe just a new system can help him with his confidence. A new role can help him with the way that he plays the game. That was my first initial reaction. All of those things.
Last year was really rough for him.
Yes.
You know, the toe injury impacted things, being banged up, trying to get back into things, and then he just struggled. This was a guy who in college could knock down shots. In his first year in the NBA, shot 37% from three, averaged 13 points a game. Last year, it was like 31.6% from three. He wasn't efficient from the field. It looked like it was overwhelming for him at times last year. And of course, the Pacers totally changed things over. There is a point that has to be made too, is his connection with Sabonis. Those two are really tight. They are close friends. And it wasn't just, hey, they're friends off the court. They had a really good connection during Duarte's rookie year on the court. Some of the numbers that are being put out there, I saw Caitlin Cooper, who covers the Pacers, does a great job. She's awesome. She put out this morning, no one has assisted more on Duarte's shots during his rookie year than Sabonis. And then Will Z, our guy, who does a great job covering all the stats, 39% was his percentage from three on 3-point attempts that came off Sabonis passes.
So the connection is there.
A little two-man game. You know, Sabonis obviously is a fun guy to play with, especially if you do have a connection with him. I think for the Kings, if this deal ends up going through, we're still waiting for the full details. It's a good guy to have off your bench. Low risk, high reward, Morgan. He's a Terrence Davis replacement.
And that's where you're kind of going with this, right? I think some people are going like, because you see how fan bases are sometimes when it's like, but how does this make this better? This guy is unhealthy and he's this and he couldn't even do this his second year and he was 26 years old. Why do you think he's going to just keep improving? And what my pushback would be, look at what Terrence Davis was saying about Mike Brown at the end of the season. Yeah. Just how much being coached by him made him a better basketball player individually. So now you put someone like Chris Duarte in this system with Mike Brown to try and give him that confidence, give him a new role to excel in, a new scenery to excel in. I mean, you see that with players all around the NBA. It ends up being situational. And you know how I feel about good guys. Like, we've been hearing about this, about Chris for a while, just like, what a good guy, what a hard worker. Just, it seems like such a Monty McNair type guy.
If he is the Terrence Davis replacement, and, you know, Terrence was in and out of the rotation, but we have seen the flashes from TD over the last couple of years where he gets hot and he can drop 30 on you. We saw that TNT game. He was special. A little chaotic at times. I feel like this move, you're not getting the offensive explosion with Chris Duarte, but he's capable of knocking down an open shot. And I think he's just a little more steady out there.
I agree with that. Like, there's not as much chaotic play. It's a little bit more under controlled, especially if he's in the right place mentally. And then you also have a willing cutter, another willing cutter. Anybody that's willing to not only be such a coachable guy, but is also willing to just move, especially when you're passing big like Domas Sabonis. You're collecting the right guys for this roster.
And I think he's solid defensively too.
Yeah.
So decent size at 6'6", backup three, can play a little bit of two.
Add to your depth, man.
I mean, you are banking a bit on him being in a fresh situation and bouncing back after a tough year. Because his rookie year, I mean, he was in the Rising Stars game. Like, he was really good. He's one of those guys who are like, yeah, older rookie, but he can come in right away and play. And he showed that last year. It wasn't that at all. So I personally think he's more of the guy we saw during his rookie year,
Sure.
which shows me he could be a solid rotational guy, spot starter if you need, than the guy that we saw last year in Indiana.
And I think anyone that might be saying out there, but what about Colby Jones? Like, why'd you draft this guy? And it's like, at the end of the day, Colby Jones is still a second rounder. You know, you can't just expect him to have this Christian Brown season that he had on the Nuggets, right? But you're going to see how this develops over time. And maybe these players, these pieces, this depth just all make each other better.
As far as cap purposes now, if they end up just absorbing him into cap space, I know Keith Smith had information on where the Kings stand with their cap space, and I think it puts them still at like $13 million at this point. So they could still be players in free agency, and who knows, maybe they end up going a different route where they go back over the cap, and let's see what else they can do with the mid-level. I'm eager to see how it unfolds. If you're wondering why we didn't go live for this, Morgan has to go get her hair done before we go live for NBA free agency. We'll be live reacting to all the deals as they happen. Turn your notifications on. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. We just want to hop on real fast and give some quick thoughts on this deal.